Alright, so for this Q&A video... Oh, actually, I totally forgot to check to see if I had any questions from the last one. I'm almost 100% sure I didn't. I don't know, I rarely ever get... Anyways, my finals are finally done, which means I can actually focus on making videos, which is awesome. Because December is like a super month for video watching. It's ridiculous because it's really good for YouTubers, even though people aren't actually watching videos any more than they would like over summer vacation. I mean, they are still watching them a lot, but they watch a lot of videos during every break, and Christmas isn't really an exception. But the thing is, during Christmas, it's a huge commercialized holiday, which means ad revenue goes up. So Christmas is like Christmas for YouTubers. You want to put out as many videos as possible. And considering I just finished my finals on December 17th, like, I'm really behind. That sucks. I should just quit school, but I'm not going to. That would be nice, though. I kind of dream about that sometimes because I don't like doing homework. But yeah, so I have a bunch of video ideas. Well, I mean, I have tons of video ideas. What I mean is I have a lot of videos half written, and all I have to do is just write the other half of them. Like, I wasn't actually planning on making any videos this week, or last week, but I already had the script written for my Why People Are Mean to Me Online. I have a whole bunch of just random video scripts written out that I just put off because I think it would be too hard to do. Like, I sometimes write stuff, and then I think turning this into a video would be really hard, and I think twice about it, and I just, like, don't do it. And the Why People Are Mean to Me, because I forget. I get video ideas sometimes, and I just write them down, but sometimes I'll go in and actually, like, look them up. And that was one of them. And it all started because I watched this video by Boogie something. Boogie's funny. I can't remember his full name. But he had this Q&A session, and someone asked him why people are mean online. And his response, very, what's the word for it? Very serious response was that some people are psychopaths and that they can't help it, and that you just should ignore it because those people are psychopaths and it's a mental illness. And he went off and off about it. And I just kept thinking to myself, wow, that is so wrong. That's not true at all. And it kind of only people who actually are in the field that I am would know that. Like, normal people wouldn't guess it. Like, oh, that sounds right. And it just kind of bothered me. So, I mean, I still like the guy, and I wasn't mad at him personally. I mean, he just didn't know. Most people don't know. So I wrote the script just because that video bothered me. Something so stupid like that. And I made sure to put the psychopath thing in there because I had this whole section written out on the Why People Are Mean to Me Online about mental illnesses, because I know a lot of mental illnesses, and if there's a mental illness for someone who's being mean to you online, it's probably autism more than anything. Because those... Actually, I don't want to talk... I don't want to get into it. There's a reason I cut that out of my script. It was really long, and I don't want to open up the bag of dicks that's mental illness. Because that's like, I don't know. It's just something you don't want to talk about. Because there's like so little we actually know about it, and there's so much misinformation out there. And even if I did write out the correct information, since there's so much misinformation out there, people would still... I didn't want the video to have a whole bunch of dislikes, so I took it out. And I also didn't want to have to go in there and research it all, because if I was going to add that in there, I'd have to get all the facts straight. And I did not feel like turning this into a research paper, so I just took it out and left the stuff in with psychopath in. And I just researched everything else, because, yeah, everything in there is pretty much backed by actual studies and stuff. So, I don't know, it was basically like a research paper put into video form that I thought I could make a little bit funny if I broke the fourth wall. I don't know, that video, I like it. It's probably good enough to go on my best videos list, because I have this playlist of videos on my channel where I only put the videos I think are good in it. And I think there's only like 7 videos in there out of like the 200 I have. And actually, how many are there? I should go look at it right now. Have you heard the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie? Yeah. More sarcasm videos. Do you play League of Legends? Oh, there are questions on here. Actually, I really want to look at that playlist real quick just to see how much is on there. I could always just edit this out, but the thing is, when I edit out this video, I do listen to the entire recording, but I really don't want to listen to it like 3 times. Maybe I should like take a day before I actually edit this. Nah, I like to edit it as soon as I record. That way I can just get it over with. I'm listening to this long ass recording. I do edit some stuff out, but I like to just leave everything in there if I can help it. Too much editing on really long pieces of audio is not fun. Let's see. My best videos playlist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 videos on there. And I might add the why people are mean to me online just because I like psychology. Ugh. I kind of feel stupid saying that too. Just because I've seen people use it really in cringe-worthy situations. Whatever. I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, I was talking about the video I released last week because I don't know. It just seemed like it would be a hard video to do because it's just a whole bunch of abstract concepts. And putting those into video form is kind of tough. So I thought I would just record myself drawing pictures on MS Paint. I was going to try it out on Photoshop since I got that recently, but my drawing board wasn't working with Photoshop. It was working sometimes, but it just kept bugging out. I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to go in Paint. Because Paint actually works, even though Photoshop does look prettier. And what I do with those is I draw out everything on a sketchpad first, and then I just record it all in like one session, me just drawing all of them, and then I just edit out it later, and it's actually pretty fast. It was pretty fast, and I didn't dislike it afterwards. Usually if I put out a video quickly, like after a couple days, I'm like, ugh, I really wish I'd spent a little bit more time on this because this looks stupid, and I could have done this, there, and this, that. But with this one, with the quick drawing thing, because like a majority of the video is quick draw, where I just record myself drawing my shitty stuff on MS Paint, and then I just speed it up in the editing process later. And it actually seems to work out pretty well. I'm not dissatisfied with it like I usually am with my videos. So I might do that again in the future because it really cut down the editing time by a lot. So what you want to do is have a whole bunch of like moving footage in the video because you don't want to have too much dead space. Dead space being where it's just like a still image and you're not really doing anything. That's why lots of other YouTubers who do WoW stuff will have like pan across fields or zoom out and in on buildings and stuff because they have like a rudimentary knowledge on how to do film effects. And I mean, it works. And unless you actually make videos yourself or are a film critic, you won't notice these things, but I do, and it kind of... I'd make it a point, try not to just do everything as zoom-ins and gloss overs and the cinematic zoom out and then pan over. I try not to do... I mean, I do those, I do a lot of them, but I try not to do too much. Because I know there's some other people out there who that's all they do. That's their entire... That's just what they do, and it works out fine for them, so good for them. They can get away with being lazy. I kind of like to put a little bit more effort into my videos. Alright, so I think I'll just go through my last Q&A video and read some of the comments and answer some of the questions. Let's see. Thanks for the vids. Please don't do another fast video like the Medivh video. The Medivh video, I did a video a couple weeks ago. Who is Medivh? WoW lore. In that I tried out this new thing where I was going to see how fast I could talk and then just make the video normally but with me talking almost as fast as I could, and I didn't really like it. That was like one of the instances where I make a video and after it's all said and done I just didn't like it. I was like, oh my god, I want to just delete this or just redo the entire audio, but I already had all the editing done for the audio, and I was like, it kind of doesn't sound so bad on like the 10th playthrough, since I have to listen to the audio like a million times during the editing process. I was like, it's not so bad. So I put it out anyway. And then the next day I watched it again. I was like, ugh, I really shouldn't have uploaded this. This is too stupid. Sure, I talk fast, but the thing is I don't really enunciate a lot of the words, so it just kind of like blends together, which is not good at all. Audio on that is, ugh. I was just trying it out to see if I could do it, and I probably can. I just have to slow it down a little bit, or focus a lot more. No, slow down for sure. That was a little bit too fast, and enunciate a little bit more, because I want to make those ones a little bit faster, because I think I talk a little bit too slow in some of my videos, so I was trying to speed that up on that one. I think I sped it up too much, so it's got to slow down a little bit, make it in the Goldilocks zone of just right. So yeah, no more super fast talking videos like that. Do you play League of Legends? No, not really. I've tried it, and I have nothing bad to say about it. It was okay, but I tried it after playing like 400 games of Dota 2. So I kind of was like, okay, where is the shop? How come I can't buy stuff from a courier? Oh, you can teleport back. That's pretty cool. No bottles. I don't know. It's just so much different from Dota 2. I just couldn't really get into it, and there was all these items I didn't know. Well, in Dota 2, I have all the items and their equipment. I mean, the pieces to build them, like, memorized. And I can buy them, like, mid-battle if I need to. And in League, I didn't know any of them. I was like, I really don't feel like learning the meta game of this, because there was a ton of heroes too, but you have to, like, unlock them, so you have to invest a lot of time into it. And I just wasn't into that. I was like, I already played Dota. I'm pretty good at Dota, and I don't really see a need to play League, because I don't really have any other friends who play it. Like, if I had people to play with, maybe I would play it, maybe. Even then, I'd still probably prefer Heroes of the Storm, because I don't play Dota 2 anymore either. I used to, and I played a ton of it, but I had to quit because it was bad for my mental health. It just was too much. Oh, I would get so mad after a loss, or because I would always queue up by myself, because I didn't have anyone else that actually played Dota 2. And matches in Dota 2 last for like an hour. They're long as shit. So you'd get people leave, and if you were lucky, you got a good group. Most of the time, I was carrying them, because I only play Tinker. Tinker was fun. Tinker was the best. Tinker allows you to... He has a special ability that allows you to reset the cooldowns on all your abilities and items. And you can use it whenever you want. The only problem with it is that it costs a lot of mana. But all you have to do is buy this item called like the Boots of Travel. And basically you can teleport to any structure on a 1 minute cooldown. So you can just teleport back to the fountain and get your mana back up, and then teleport to a building. And you're set. You don't have to worry about the mana restriction. It's basically gone, because all you do is go to the fountain for a little bit while you reset your abilities, and then teleport to the next one. It's global movement, and it's so much fun, because there's no other character who can get to one side of the map to the other, and then back again as fast as Tinker, because it's just not possible. Unless you buy a whole bunch of scrolls, which is stupid. Oh yeah, and there was no fast travel in in League. That was kind of like, how am I supposed to get to a structure fast if it's getting attacked? You can't just teleport in. This is weird. I'm so used to my Boots of Travel and going everywhere with Tinker. Tinker was the best. I kind of want to play again just to do some more Tinker, but then I remember how absolutely livid I get when I lose, so I don't do that anymore. It's kind of the same reason I cut back on Hearthstone pretty much completely, because it was just, I get too mad. Way too mad. It's like, I don't need this stress in my life right now. I'm busy enough. I don't need to add any more to it. But I do play Heroes, because Heroes is pretty fun. I don't get super mad after a loss in that game. Not yet, probably because I haven't played as much as Dota or Hearthstone yet, and I actually have friends who play Heroes of the Storm, so that makes it a lot more enjoyable. Bad thing about Dota was I didn't have anyone else to play it with. No matter how many times I tried to get people into the game, it just wasn't taking, because Dota, it's a really hard game to learn, I'm not gonna lie. League of Legends would be a lot easier for getting a friend to play with you. Dota is a lot harder from what I saw. I haven't played enough League to really make that assumption, but a lot of people who have played both of them do absolutely say that Dota is harder than League. Because it is. It's really hard. And Heroes of the Storm is easier than both of them. Heroes of the Storm is a lot of fun. It's basically just a lot of team battles. There's not enough... Farming isn't really as central to it as it is in Dota or League. In Heroes of the Storm, you just go around and do team battles, and that's how you level up. And you do team battles early since you start off with all your abilities. You don't have to level them up like you do in League or Dota, where you get like one ability every level unless you decide not to get it for a strategic reason, which you do in Dota. I don't know if you do that in League though. Like there are some people who don't even take one of their abilities because they just put it all into stats, because you can choose to put your level up points into your stats to get stronger, but most of the time you don't do that. You kind of at least want to have 1 point in all your abilities, but I think there was like some classes who didn't even take one of their abilities because they would rather just have the stats because it's so worthless, or they wouldn't take it until like very end game. But yeah, that's the whole thing on that. I don't play Dota 2 anymore or Leagues, but I do play Heroes sometimes. And only if I have friends around, because I still don't like playing that game by myself either. Even though it's not so bad. Let's see. Hi, love your videos, but I want to know if you played Magic the Gathering. No, I've never played Magic. I don't know how to play the game either. And I kind of want to learn just to see what the fuss is about. I mean, there has to be... It's not the #1 card game in the world for no reason. I mean, it has to be somewhat fun. But I do play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have another channel dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing is, I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! and not get mad at that. But when I play Hearthstone, I do get mad after losses. I think the thing with the Yu-Gi-Oh! One is I play that for entertainment. Well, I mean, why would you play a card game if it wasn't fun? How should I put this? I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks that are fun to watch. Kind of like, yeah, people do that in Hearthstone too, where they just play a really ridiculous gimmick. And sometimes you watch that because it's fun to see gimmicks win sometimes. That's what my entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel was founded and what it does. That's basically all it does is gimmick decks. And I pretty much just go around until I find someone else who's not as good. Like, I quit out of a lot of games, and since there's no, like, gold or level up system or ranking, it doesn't really matter. You can quit out as many games as you want until you find someone who's playing a deck that you stand a chance against, and then you play. And there are way more Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards than Hearthstone cards, so I have, like, an infinite amount of decks I could do, and an infinite amount of ways to do it, and creative, fun ways, and that channel's a lot of fun to do. So, yeah, I don't play Magic, but I do have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. So I do play card games, and I play a lot. Let's see, I think that's it. The other ones just talk about my other videos, or the fast talking thing again. I know, fast talk wasn't that great. Not gonna do it as fast as that, but I kind of still want to try to do it, but slowing it down a lot more. And wow, looking at the audio recording, looks like I'm almost at the 20-minute mark. That first part took a lot longer than I thought it was. I had this whole thing planned out because I didn't think I had enough material to actually talk about to extend this video, because I kind of want these videos to be around half an hour if I can help it. Just so it's the kind of video that I'd want to watch in an ideal Q&A. Even though it's not really a Q&A, and it's just more me talking about myself, which is a lot of fun. So, let's see, I have the subreddit that I made like 2 weeks ago, and I put up a couple of my video ideas, and I got a couple of people responding to them with some really great info. So that was a pretty good idea. It's still really small right now. I think there's only like, yeah, it's still super small. But the people who have contributed some really relevant information, which does help me a little bit. It'd be awesome if I got like a whole bunch of things, and that'd basically be like getting the research for me. Because research for some of these things is... It takes a long time. I think I already explained that in the last video. It takes a lot out of you. What I did, though, was I joined a private server. Shh, don't tell anyone. A vanilla private server. That way I can actually like see how the abilities worked back then. Because it's really hard to find that information. I think it'd be easier just to go in and look for yourself. And it's awesome. I got a whole bunch of new video ideas from stuff I found on that server. And I was thinking about like getting a server for BC as well. Just because it's vanilla and BC stuff that's hard to find. Wrath, Cataclysm, and Myths, really easy. That's like when the internet... That's like when the game took off and there's so much internet sources out there. And everything from like BC and vanilla just doesn't exist anymore. Or it's really hard to find, so... I think a vanilla and BC server would do very well for researching some of this stuff. And for footage. Because the only way to get footage for the old world, since Cataclysm changed everything, is to borrow footage from other YouTubers, which I don't really like to do, and I try to avoid it if at all possible, but I do it sometimes. I try to give them credit in the video descriptions, but I sometimes forget, and I feel like an ass when they find it out. I don't think I've ever had anyone be mad that I used their footage before. They were more like, oh, cool, that's my thing. I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot to put in a link. Just because after I make the video and upload it, I get super lazy and I don't want to do anything, and I just completely forget. And I sometimes forget to put annotations at the end of the videos too, but forgetting to put a video of someone's like footage I've used seems like such a douchey thing to do. So I don't know. I don't like to use their footage anyway if I can help it. And I have been pretty good at putting their information in the video description if I do use it. So, I don't know. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. I created a Patreon page. I'm not really too keen on the idea. I still think my channel's too small for that. Because the thing is, I want to put out more stuff, and I would like to hire outside help to do it. And I know where to find outside help. It's kind of out of my budget, so that must be a good way to potentially raise more money for that. Or not. It's just an optional thing. I'm just gonna have it up, and I'm not gonna actually tell anyone about it. It's just gonna be on my front page, and I have this thing that if you do go to the Patreon thing and you put like $1 in, I'll have like this poll where you can just choose what the next video will be, because I'll only charge for like one specific video. I don't really want to do it all that much. And basically, if you go to there, you have a chance of voting for a video that I'll make, or you can like submit an idea. Basically, it's if you have an idea for a video that you want me to make, that's really a really good way for getting me to actually make it. And I have had people who have wanted to do that, so that's basically what that's for. So the small number of people who want me to make a video on a certain subject. The Patreon is a really good way of, getting that point across. Otherwise, it's just going to be there. I'm not going to make a video announcing or anything. It's just going to be hidden. Only a few dedicated fans who go through all of my social links or get 20 minutes into my Q&A video will even know that it exists. And let's see. I think that was it. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of videos over the next couple of weeks. I really want to make my interactive story. I really also want to make my mystery story, because I have this idea for a video. Like a mystery story where I do machinima-y. I seem to get more positive response with machinima rather than when I draw out the stuff. People like the machinima stuff even if it is really crappy, where you just use WoW Model Viewer and green screen it into places. A lot more positive response than just drawing the entire thing out. So I'd have to go in and do that. And I want to do this thing where a mystery is posed up, and then I'll release like the follow-up video to it like the next week. And I'll have like, ooh, if you can guess who it is, I'll feature your name on next week's video. I really want to try a video or two like that. I don't want to make like a continuous story because it's really hard to write mystery stories. But I had this really good idea for one, and I really wanted to make a video for that, and I'm not sure if I'm just gonna do the whole thing in one video or split it up into two, where half of it is setting it up and then putting out all the information for who might have done it, and then having the next video explaining everything, or just doing it all in one video. I kind of want to do the first one where I split up in two videos. I also have an interactive story that I have about half written. I kind of have an idea of how the story's going to go, and I think if I just sit down and wrote it if I spent a day writing the entire story, I could get it out. The thing is, writing a story for a video is a little bit harder than just writing a short story. Because I do like to write short stories for fun, and I turned a couple of them into videos. None of them have done all that well, and I think some of them are kind of ugh. I turned one of my short stories into like one of the Halloween videos, and I put so much time and effort into it, and at the very end of it, I thought it was so bad. I was like, ugh, this is garbage. I don't like it. It didn't work. I didn't convert it well enough. It was a short story, and I didn't turn it into a video script well. It sounds like I'm reading a short story, and I should just deleted that one too. There's so many videos I just don't like after I put them out. And whatever. This one, I do have a lot of videos that I put out that I do like, so I'm doing something right sometimes. I just got to go back and see what I did in those ones, and I know what it is. I just like to experiment with new stuff, and sometimes it just turns out very badly. So yeah, I've got those things. And I was going to end off this, because I have like this list of like questions. I have this one on Tumblr about just random stuff. The A through Z questions about yourself. And this one, the tag, the secret diary of a YouTuber, which has 12 questions on it, but I'm only going to read 11 of them because the last one, I'm not going to tag someone else with it. Okay, so on to the secret diary of a YouTuber. 12 questions. Question number 1. How long have you been on YouTube? A long time. I want to say 2006, but it was probably 2007. No, it was 2006. I got on YouTube when I was in 9th grade to watch Bleach, because I recently had gotten into Bleach, because it aired on Adult Swim at night, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I wanted to see if it went on any more, so I went on YouTube, because YouTube was the place for anime back then, believe it or not, and I watched the entire series on there, and I started making videos, and I made money back before ad revenue was a thing, and that's a pretty long story. I've already told it a couple times, though. Question number 2. At what point do you think you will stop? That's a good question, actually. I didn't really put that much thought into it. The thing is, I'm going to school right now, so when that's over, if I get a demanding job, I probably would still do it. Because, I would obviously cut back and do a lot less, but I don't really see myself stopping, since making videos is a lot of fun. Some videos. I'd probably stop making the ones that I'd probably stop making certain videos and make a lot more of my ones where I can be as creative as possible. Those ones don't do very well in the views department. Well, actually, whenever I say a video doesn't do well, I mean it didn't get a lot of views. And those ones, the videos I really like, don't do very well. But I do also make other types of videos because I know they'll do well, and because I like to watch them too. But I'd probably only make videos that I like. So I probably would still keep making videos even if I got a demanding job. But that's years away. Or if like YouTube crashes or something, I'd probably have to stop. The best thing? Question mark. The best thing? I guess the best thing about YouTube? Not having to go to work because that's fun. Because I used to work at this place called Golfland Sunsplash. That might actually give away like where I live, because I don't think they're in any other place except for the state I live in. Golfland is a mini golf place that also has go-karts, bumper boats, laser tag, and an arcade. And when you worked at Golfland, it was also connected to one of the big water parks in my state, in a state that's really hot, so it's very busy during the summer. And it wasn't uncommon to have people during the summer walk through Golfland in their swimsuits, which was definitely the best part of the job. Summers were great, even though they were really fucking busy. Like, ridiculous. I can't believe how many customers they got, considering we use these computers from like 1980 or something. They were like these giant, like, tan big boxes, pieces of shit, and like the keyboards were all like broken, and it was all so super ridiculously old school, and they refused to upgrade anything, and everything was falling apart. And they had the money to do it, but they would always like use the money in stupid shit, and they rarely ever updated anything. They're like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, technically it does work, but yeah. So anyways, the job itself, it was actually I wouldn't say a lot of work. It was really boring. Most of the time you just walked around, didn't really do anything. But my coworkers were a lot of fun, and I liked working with them because I really love messing with people. The job itself wasn't all that. It was really long, and customers are the worst. Yeah, that's definitely the worst part about the job. That was the number one thing, because the managers were really nice, actually. The coworkers were great. They were fun to talk to. The people, though, the customers were... if we didn't have any customers, that would be a really pretty neat job, because you also got to do the activities there, you know, like the bumper boats, laser tag, go-karts, whenever you wanted for free on your days off. So it was a really cheap date. So that was pretty cool. But the customers suck. Customer service is terrible. You never want to work customer service. I'm so glad to be away from that job just because I hated the customers. They're so... Until you work customer service, you're not aware that a majority of the population is just absolutely retarded. They're so stupid. Like, you have no idea. I mean, you think you'd know, oh, I know a couple people from school that are stupid, until you actually work with the public. That's just a whole nother thing. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to go off on a rant. Ooh, deep breaths, calm down. Don't think about terrible customers, or how they blatantly lie about you. What's the worst thing about the job? Oh, I didn't even say what was the best thing about being a YouTuber. It's a really fun job. Like, my other job, it was pretty fun at times, but a majority of the time it was terrible because of customers. But this one, it's fun a majority of the time and only bad sometimes. And that goes on to the next one. What's the worst thing? What do you do to make it okay? The worst thing about YouTube is probably how fucking long it took. I worked... videos take a really long time to put together. The editing process is very monotonous after a while. Like, getting the idea for the video together, like getting all the information and putting it together, I know it's fun because I can do it like continuously without stopping. And I'll sometimes forget to eat if I'm on like a huge binge of editing. And I'll just wake up, edit, and then go to sleep when I'm done. Well, we'll go to sleep when I need a break, because I just don't do anything else all day. And the reason I can do that is because the work is somewhat fun to me. Whenever I try studying, I can't concentrate for like more than half an hour at a time, and I'll just go off and do something. I have to take breaks, and I get hungry all the time because I'm so bored. It's just something I don't want to do. Or at my old work, same thing. Just get really bored, and I just can't stand it, and I just can't wait until the day is over. And I don't have that anymore with YouTube because I just make videos and I can work as much as I want. I usually work a lot. And the worst thing about it was you put in all this work and you don't even know if you're actually going to make money or if it's gonna what's the thing? If it's even going to work out for you. Because even if you just make a bunch of videos and you just want people to watch it, like I was at first, I was like, oh, I want these people to enjoy this stuff that I spent all this time on. And at first, it was like, I remember when I got happy that my when a video got over 100 views on its own, it's like, dang, 100 views by itself. This is a pretty good video. I gotta see what I did right on this. Maybe if I get more videos like this, then I make up more, and then I start thinking about the future, and that kept me going. Other than the fact that I was making stuff that I liked, and like I said, it was pretty fun. But the starting out kind of sucks, and also some of the commenters can be pretty annoying. Sometimes, like, I have all these comments to respond to because I have 2 channels, so I go through like at the beginning of the day and I look through all my comments from the people in my videos, like, oh, let's see, I have another 10 people telling me that my top 10 raid boss video is shit and why I shouldn't be making videos. I'm just gonna ignore those for today. Let's see, another 10 people telling me that the end boss of Warlords of Draenor is Gromosh on my Who Will Be the End Boss of Warlords of Draenor video. Okay, let's just ignore those, and because I get the same comments every day on a certain of some of my more popular videos. And yeah, sometimes responding to comments can just really put you in a bad mood. Sometimes. So if I need to get something done and I was like, I don't really want to be in a bad mood right now, I just won't read comments. And sometimes I'll put them off for a couple days and then they'll really pile on, and because you really do have to look at it, because sometimes they'll point out mistakes that you made that are a really good thing, or sometimes I'll ask you like questions about it that you can answer really quickly, or sometimes it'll be someone that I use footage of a video and that I completely forgot to put credit on that happened like a couple days ago, and I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't read the comments. So you have to read them, but sometimes it can put you in a bad mood even if you don't really care about them. Like, I have pretty thick skin. I don't really care if people make fun of me, or, well, people don't usually do that anyway. I don't really care if people bash on my videos. But sometimes those comments, some specific one for like no reason, they'll go off on a tangent of like, oh my god, this guy, he's so wrong. I need to tell him off to feel better. But, I'm just going to not do that, because I've already done that about 20 other times, and the other 20 times it didn't really help. The conversation did not end with them going, oh, you were right and I was wrong, I'm going to stop. It's no, they don't want to argue, they just want to irritate you. So just leave it alone. And I've gotten really good about just not responding, even though it's kind of hard, because people just have this need to be right, and I have it too, and I just want to respond to them like, no, you're wrong, I'm right, and here's why. But it's just too much effort, because you get too many of those every day, and if you responded to all of those, it would be a huge waste of time, because you get a lot of those. Let's see, the worst thing about it, is that it took too long, and commenters. Kind of like the people part of it. Same thing with, I should mention that I also have a ton of people who watch my stuff that are just awesome. Majority of you guys are great. A very tiny minority of you, though, I kind of explain why I remember those guys more than the people who are great in my Why People Are Mean to Me online video that you can totally go watch if you haven't yet. It explains it pretty well, so I don't have to. Okay, next question. How many thumbnail options do you usually take? Thumbnail options? Oh, I think those are the things where when you upload a video, it gives you 3 thumbnails from the video randomly. Because all it is like take 3 random screenshots. I don't know where the hell the cutoff point for it is. And I don't usually ever use them. I just make my own thumbnails. And I usually just take I have a ton of folders of just pictures that I use for videos. Because if I went out and just searched for videos every time I made a video, which I used to do at the beginning, that took forever. It's nice to just have a collection of stuff and just reuse it. But I have a huge collection, so when I do reuse something, it's not for like months after. No one ever notices. Or some people do. I have a couple of fans who are really into my stuff, and they do notice that stuff. Which is cool. I like that people care about my stuff as much as I do. So yeah, I usually just I have the folder anyways of like WoW wallpapers, and I usually just go to there, pick something at random, and then crop a part of it, because I don't usually take the whole thing because they don't really scale down that well. I crop a tiny little part of it, and then I just put my text over it. And I'm done. I don't really put too much thought into thumbnails. I really like the simplistic design of them. I don't like it when thumbnails are too needlessly complicated and you can't really see what's in it, because it's meant to be small. So you want to make it simple and for people to actually be able to read it, and so that it kind of looks pleasing to the eye and isn't super complicated and have a whole bunch of too much busy noise in it. I like to make them simple. No, question number 6. YouTuber crush? Question mark. YouTuber crush. Jesse Cox. I love him. I want to have his babies. Also, Nobel87. I love his voice. I think he would just be a guy who gets me. Number 7. Who's on your collab wish list? Let's see. Collab wish list. I would say all WoW YouTubers who are bigger than me. That way I could siphon off some of their subs to my channel. But I don't like some of the bigger WoW YouTubers. So of the bigger WoW YouTubers that I do like, WoW Crendor and Noble87. Those two would be pretty cool. The other ones I don't really like. What are you wearing on your bottom half? Shorts with a green little stripe on the end of them, because shorts are comfortable. Let's see. Next question. Number 9. How long until you actually click record? How long until you actually click record? What? I assume that's for like when you're hitting the record button for audio. My videos are a little bit different. I think when I first started out, I was a little nervous about it. I was like, what if I don't know what to say? And then I went into it and I was fine, because I've always been really good under pressure. I don't know. As soon as I open up the voice editing software and it's ready to hit record, I go. I don't really do any prep work. I just go straight into it. And then I just edit out the bad stuff later, because I usually go through the scripts of all of my videos and I say like each line about 2 or 3 times. I rarely ever do it all in one take, because that would be crazy, because I've put out videos where I did it all in one take and the audio isn't really all that great, and I kind of wish I had taken more takes earlier. But I used to do it all in one take, and I don't do that anymore. Number 10. How do you feel about the YouTube community / culture? YouTube community culture. Oh, I don't know. I'm not really part of it. I pretty much just keep to myself when I talk to a select few other YouTubers. I think 2 other ones. I have this friend who started a YouTube channel about a year before mine. I recently got back into touch with him because we used to raid together, and then he quit WoW to play Star Wars. And I'm not going to say who it is, but if he's listening, he totally knows who it is. And we recently got back into touch because I needed more people to play Heroes of the Storm with. And we both do YouTube stuff, and it's nice to have someone you know who also is in the lifestyle you're in. And then there's Hazel Nutty Games. I talk to her sometimes. She does a whole bunch of pet battle videos, because we're totally going to do arenas together someday and put out videos on both our channels about that, because we did a couple of arenas together back in Mist, like when we first met, and she's really good, which is awesome, because I've been looking for a good arena partner for a long time. Plus she makes YouTube videos and she gets the whole thing, and it's like, This is perfect. We need to get this done. So basically just them two, and I don't really... They've been really cool. I don't really know if there's a YouTube community or culture, but I'm pretty sure there's people who are in touch with a lot more people. So it's been pretty pleasant so far. It's nice. If you become a YouTuber, the community and culture is pretty nice from what I've seen so far. My very limited view. I am also a frequent lurker on the Let's Play forum on Reddit. And people there are pretty nice too. I do give advice sometimes, but they don't like my advice sometimes because I tell them to actually do work. Number 11. What's your secret to a successful channel? Okay, here's something you need to know about YouTube videos. The secret to a successful channel: make videos that people want to watch. Crazy idea, I know, but hear me out. If people want to watch the video, then you'll get more views, and that generates a successful channel. So there's like a positive correlation of videos people want to watch to a channel becoming successful. And what's a video that people want to watch? Well, you need to do research. What do you like to watch? I personally like to watch a lot of I make videos about stuff I like to watch, so the stuff on my channel is stuff I like to watch, and it turns out other people like to watch it as well. I also make stuff that I'm not too fond of, but that I don't hate, that other people like to watch, and I put it out too, because I know it'll get a lot of views. Sometimes it doesn't though, but that's rare. Most of the time, if I make a video that I think will get a lot of views, it does. And I'll never put out a video that I don't like, that I know people will like to watch. And a few examples of that are... Oh, crap, it's in my head right now. I know what it is. I'll never make a rage video. Yeah, that's it. A rage or call to action. Because I know a couple people who thrive on, oh, this is what's bad about the game. Never. Because I don't like that stuff. That stuff gets a lot of views, and people like to watch that. If people like to watch other people complain online, I don't really get it. I like to watch it too. I do get it. But I'll never make a video like that because I don't like people who do that, even if I do watch them sometimes. So yeah, I'll never make rage videos. That's like one of the few things that I'll never make. I'm pretty sure there's other things. I'll never make a webcam video either, but I've already explained in detail in the last 2 Q&A videos why. In excruciating detail, because I still have people who are asking me why I don't do face cam stuff. And I have a really good reason for it. So yeah, no face cam stuff, no rage videos, or no call to action. Call to action's like top 10 things wrong with WoW. Unless it's sarcastic. But then that's not a rage video. Like, people will go through and name all the things wrong with it, even though they don't know what they're talking about. Like I've seen a couple of other... I should really stop talking bad about other YouTubers. What if they actually watch this? Actually, what if they do watch it? Who cares? So yeah, no rage stuff or face cam. And I think that's it. Next one is, who do you tag? I'm not going to tag anyone. This video is already really long, almost 50 minutes, according to this thing right here. Unless I cut it down a little bit more. So that's it for my Q&A. It was ridiculously longer than I thought it would be. I thought this would be like one of my shorter ones, and it turns out to be probably my longest one yet. Unless I cut out a lot of that, just me rambling on about nothing. Which I do. Like what I'm doing right now. Yeah. So yeah, to sum up the video, I'm going to be making a lot of videos over the past couple weeks. Unless something happens, and I'm not able to. Otherwise, I have a whole bunch of ideas already like half written, and you can also see them on my subreddit. All of the video ideas I have up there asking for input, I already have them like half written, plus a couple of other ones I have like half written. I have lots of video scripts half written, and I just have to go through and like double check the facts, because sometimes the stuff I have on there is wrong, and I put it out, and then people will tell me about it for months on end because I don't go back and re-upload videos, because no YouTuber does that. You'd be crazy to do that. The best you can do is put in an annotation if it's very wrong, which I have done once. I don't think I've ever had to do it. I've had a whole bunch of other stuff that's wrong, but I've only ever had to put it in once because I thought it was a big enough thing. That was also not that big of a deal. And that was in my top 10 zombies video where I go in and talk about Sylvanas' sister, and I put an annotation because I talked about the wrong sister. But yeah, so that's it.